Welcome to Living Marvelously with me, Laurie Jonas. This is the show where we unleash the marvelous potential in every woman. Are you ready to dream big and leap into a life you love? Don't let the expectations of others choose for you. Step out of your comfort zone and learn how to create what your life looks like. I'll take you on an inspirational journey, helping you tap into the wellspring of your inner strength, get clear on your life purpose, and unleash the vision you came into the world to share. On Living Marvelously, you will learn about personal development, self-care, and spirituality. And together, we will connect with others, sharing their unique energies, and learn to create a world that allows everyone to shine. Living Marvelously starts now. I'm Laurie Jonas, and I'm thrilled to kick off 2025 with you. Today, let's leave behind the pressure of resolutions and rigid goals, shall we? And let's instead focus on something much more meaningful, and that's becoming unapologetically you. So in today's show, let's explore how to step into your true self this year. We'll talk about reflecting on who you want to be, setting intentions, taking small but powerful steps to live authentically. Plus, I'll share a few practical tips to help you get started. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's make this a year to remember. So before we begin with the tips, let's talk about why being your authentic self is vital. I mean, just thinking about that, right? Why wouldn't it be vital? If we're all meant to be we're all here for a reason, right? We all have our own lives. We should be living authentically to be sharing that with everyone else. But one of those is fulfillment. So living authentically allows you to align your actions with your values and passions, so leading to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. So when you're living authentically, you're doing things that fill you up. You're doing things that make you feel great. Another reason living authentically is important is for connection. Authenticity fosters deeper relationships because you are showing your true self to others. And then you attract the people that resonate with you. And that creates just genuine connections. Confidence, embracing who you are, builds self-confidence because you don't feel like you have to conform with what other people want or seek external validation. That's a huge one for me. Since I started living marvelously and started my blog back in 2018 now, it's always been about, ooh, what am I going to share that everybody's going to love, right? So I was always seeking the external validation. And gosh, it's taken me a while, but I'm finally getting to a place where it's like, you know what? I just love doing this. And I am just hoping that when I send information out, whether it's through my blog or through my YouTube channel or through social media, that it's getting to the people that need it and it's being received. Resilience. Being true to yourself helps you navigate challenges with clarity and strength because your decisions are rooted in your core beliefs. So you're making decisions about maybe something that went wrong that says, you know what, this is authentically me and how I'm going to handle this. And it just works out better. And then finally, happiness. Pretending to be somebody else is really exhausting. Authenticity brings a sense of ease and a sense of joy, and you live in alignment with your true nature. So after all, you came into this life to be you. Why do we try so hard to be like other people? Doesn't make any sense, but it's what a lot of people are doing. We're comparing ourselves to others. We're thinking that we have to be like somebody else, but no, all we need to be is ourselves. All right. So I want to start with a moment of reflection. So if you have a journal handy, you can grab it now, or if not, just close your eyes and think about this question. Who do I want to be in 2025? Don't overthink it. Let your thoughts flow freely because this isn't about creating a to-do list. It's about connecting with your deepest desires and values. I journal every morning and I love to uh, interface with my soul. I guess I don't know if that's the right word for it, but I always ask my soul for guidance. So, one way you could do that is when you're sitting down with your journal, you're just relaxing and taking some deep breaths, closing your eyes, and just to yourself saying, what does my soul want for me in 2025? And then just see what comes up and just start writing. And you might come up with something that you hadn't thought of before, or some of the things that you had been thinking about will come out with more ease. But just give it a try. Because maybe you want to feel more at peace. Maybe you want to be more adventurous, more creative. Maybe you want to strengthen your relationships or take better care of your health. That taking better care of your health is a much better intention than I'm going to lose 20 pounds this year. So I did this exercise a few weeks ago, and a couple things that came up for me were I want to be confident, I want to be free, I want to be loving, experimental, unafraid, and a me pleaser, not a people pleaser. I want to live my life without thinking I need to get permission from others for what I do. How often do you do that? I've been catching myself doing that a lot. In fact, I told my husband that that's what I wanted to do in 2025 is to stop asking for permission. And so we were having some friends over for New Year's Eve and he was making he's the cook, so he was making hors d'oeuvres and starting the meal and I had gone grocery shopping and I had gotten I think it was like chips and I don't know if it was guacamole or something. And I'm like, oh gosh, I really want those today too. So I asked him, hey, can I put out a pre-appetizer to your appetizers? And he looked at me and said, what was your New Year's resolution? And I laughed because I asked permission. Like, if that's what I want, I need to just put out this pre-appetizer and have chips and guacamole. Seems silly, but it's something that is become a habit that I ask people for permission for things. And it's going to be a hard one to break, but doing things that feel good to me and not worrying about what others think of it will be a big deal. Um, and that's being authentically me. So, whatever comes up for you, this is your moment to dream big and be honest with yourself. Dreaming big starts with having a vision of a better life, a vision of success, a vision of abundance in your life. And that doesn't always just mean money. Abundance in love, abundance in a home life, abundance in family, abundance in whatever is desirable to you. Because dreaming big means moving beyond your current reality, not being complacent, compliant, or stagnant. A lot of times we find ourselves doing the same things every day, right? We wake up and we go through this routine of life and we got to mix it up a little bit. Like why do we think we have to do that? Let's go have some fun. So taking control of your desires and taking baby steps in that direction is important. And it doesn't matter how old you are. It's not too late to go after your big dreams. Every day you are alive is another opportunity to move in that direction. I'm 58 years old and I'm tired of thinking that there is someone I have to answer to or I have to prove myself to. I'm excited to be unapologetically me, and I hope you are too. Everything that you see around you started with a vision. The chair you're sitting on, the couch maybe you're sitting on, the TV you're watching, the internet you're using to watch this, airplanes, cars, and even the nature you see out the window. Someone had to dream big and make those things a reality. So you can do it too. And when I use the term big, it means big to you. It doesn't have to be big or massive or however you define that word. Not everyone's big dreams are the same. To you, a big dream might be getting a promotion at work that pays more money. Or to someone else, a big dream might be traveling the world. But you get to define what big is. Okay, so if you're journaling, I want you to just keep writing. Listen and write at the same time. If you're reflecting, hold on to those thoughts as we move into this next step. So now that you've reflected on who you want to be, let's simplify it into one powerful word. your word of the year. It's like a compass. It guides your decisions. It keeps you aligned with your true self. So, what are some words that maybe just popped up as I said that? Maybe it's freedom, peace, courage. Some of my recent ones have been, now I got to think about it now that I just said that. Oh gosh, now I can't even think of them. So I caught myself off guard. But maybe it's something that is entirely unique to you. Oh, compassion was one of mine. I know that was one. So take a moment to think about it. If a word doesn't come to you right away, that's okay. Let it simmer and trust that the right one will reveal itself. Oh, my last year's word was joy. And I did have a lot of fun last year. And now I'm deciding, now that I had fun last year, I noticed some things of why I wasn't having fun. And so this year, I'm going to tell you what my word is in just a second. It's all about becoming just doing the things that make me authentically me. I have another video on my YouTube channel all about choosing your word of the year. So I'll link it below, but here are a few highlights. So brainstorm about the year ahead. What's your big picture vision? What or who do you have to be to achieve what you want? Or consider how this past year has been. What is something that you could improve on or do differently or keep working on? What do you want more of in your life? What do you want less of in your life? But make sure to turn that into a positive word because choosing a word of the year helps you to focus and bring clarity to who you desire to be. And now that you have your word or not, now that you're thinking about your word, what are you supposed to do with it? So, my word of the year for 2025 is fearless. And this is how I'm going to use it. I'm going to write fearless on my calendar to remind me. I'm going to put it on, but here are some other things you can do. I'm writing it on my calendar and and there's a few more things I'm going to talk about in a second, but you could also put it on your computer screen. You could make posters. You could put it on your bathroom mirror, wherever it is visible and reminds you of who you want to be. You could do a whole vision board around it. You could find scriptures or quotes with your word in them. This brings more focus. A quote that I found for mine was, "Don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart." Oh, isn't that beautiful? That was Roy T. Bennett. I love that. Discover the meaning of your word. You know, fearless is pretty easy. It means free from fear, right? But also for me, it means being brave. It means going after what I want and embracing the joy of living my truth, not letting my mind tell me that it's wrong or that I will be judged. And this part is important when choosing your word. Make sure it means something personal to you so you have a connection to it. And finally, there's a couple more. I even wrote a poem about it that I'm going to share quickly. A new day and year are dawning, and so am I. It's time to break free and live fully, love deeply, and embrace every moment with joy. This is my life to live. I am radiant, intuitive, and fearless. I follow my joy, trust my gut, and create a life that feels true to me. It is never too late to fully realize the joy and passion that is your heart's desire. A new day and year are dawning, and so am I. Hmm. The final way to use your word is to find books on the subject. One that has caught my eye is The Confidence Code, The Science and Art of Self-Assurance, What Women Should Know. So those are just some ideas on how to do the word of the year. We're going to take a short break. I'm Laurie Jonas. You're listening to Living Marvelously. When we come back, we're going to dive into how to start small, and then we're going to talk about different ways that you can start small and different things you can do to reach your desires for 2025. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We are back on Living Marvelously with me, Laurie Jonas. And if you're looking for someone to speak at your next retreat or speak to a group, I love sharing all about human design, infinite possibilities, self-love, being authentically you. So send me an email or check out livingmarvelously.com. All right, let's continue our discussion. I want to talk about action. So living authentically doesn't mean overhauling your life overnight. It's about taking small, meaningful steps that align with your true self. And just a couple ideas might be saying no to something that doesn't serve you. Spend time with someone you love, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Sign up for a class or activity you've always wanted to try. These small actions, they really build momentum and they help you feel more connected to who you are. So think of one simple action you can take this week to honor your authentic self. Just a couple of weeks ago, I did a show on the art of small steps because big goals can be really intimidating. They loom large and often lead to procrastination or burnout. Small steps, on the other hand, they really feel manageable. They take the pressure off, giving us small wins that build momentum and confidence. So think of it like steering a ship. A tiny adjustment to the rudder might seem insignificant at first, but over time, it can completely change your destination, right? So let's say you're sailing along and you're going straight, but you make one little adjustment to the rudder. Just doesn't seem like much, but as time goes on, you're going this way where you would have been going this way, and those are two totally different places. So I would say, let's go to the place that makes you feel good instead of staying in the same trajectory that maybe doesn't. So small steps, they really work that same way. They guide us toward big life-changing transformations, one manageable step at a time. Because our brains, they're really wired to resist change because it feels unsafe. Our minds are always trying to protect us. Our ego is always saying, no, this is how it's always been. Well, why are we changing? But when changes are small and incremental, they bypass that resistance. And over time, these tiny actions create new neural pathways, making the behavior feel natural and automatic. And here are a couple small steps that I'm going to take that goes along with my loving myself and being authentic this year is I'm going to make sure I'm moving my body every day. I'm going to set boundaries with my job and set boundaries with my family. And I'm going to pay attention to when I'm asking for permission. And I'm going to try to rewire my brain to say, I don't need permission. If I want to do something, I should just go do it. So, what can you do to become more you? And I have some ideas for you. So, the first one is practice daily self reflection. Set aside 5 to 10 minutes each day to journal about what you truly want or value. And I know there's a lot of people who do not like to journal, and that's okay. Instead of journaling, maybe visualize. Take 5 to 10 minutes every day to visualize what you want your day to look like. And if the day that you have set ahead of you doesn't look like what you're visualizing, this is your chance to take small little steps to change that trajectory. So ask yourself, what would I do today if I wasn't worried about others' opinions? I love that question because that's a big one that we all put a border up or a barrier up to doing things because we're worried about what other people will think. Okay, the next one is set personal boundaries. This one is, like I said, a big one for me for this year. So, and you can start small by saying no to one thing this week that doesn't align with your values or energy. And as I was preparing for today, I was thinking about this one and I thought about how, a lot of us like think that we have to volunteer somewhere. Or we get asked to be on a committee and we're like, oh, I suppose I better do that. So we do that. We're on some committee or volunteer board and we hate it. We don't want to do it. We don't want to be there, but we feel like we have to. Well, here's something to think about. If you're sitting on this committee and you hate it, you need to say, you know what? This isn't for me. I'm going to step back. I don't want to be on this committee anymore because then you're opening up space for there's somebody out there who would love to be on that committee and would do a fantastic job. If you're in there hating it, you're really hindering that whole group. Step aside. Let somebody else go in there and be a part of that group to make it fabulous. So replace the guilt of having to do something with the affirmation that I deserve to prioritize my well being. My well being says that my time would be more useful somewhere else. My well being says that there are other things that I would love to do. My well being says this is not a good fit for me. So prioritize that because you deserve it. Reconnect with forgotten passions. Revisit hobbies or interests that you loved as a child or a young adult. I use this example a lot for people to just find joy in their life. Think about all those things you used to do that were really fun. And somewhere along the line, you're like, oh, that's childish. I can't do that anymore. That's not true. Let's spend 15 minutes a week exploring these activities without worrying about being good at them. Just have fun with them. And everybody has 15 minutes that they can spend a week to do something that they love. Declutter your commitments. Review your schedule. Remove one obligation that doesn't bring you joy or serve your goals. I kind of already touched on this. What are some obligations? And maybe that obligation is, taking responsibility for, I don't know, maybe it's a child or a parent or taking responsibility for getting their groceries or doing errands for somebody else. Now, does that really bring you joy or serve your goals? Maybe you say to them, you know what, this isn't serving me anymore. You need to find a different way to get this done for you. Which, you know what? We have to allow everybody to be authentically themselves and live their own lives, and we do not have to be the one that makes somebody else feel better. So replace those commitments and with time for something that truly lights you up. Create an authenticity ritual. Each morning, look in the mirror and affirm, I am worthy of living a life that feels true to me. Choose one action each day that aligns with your values or desires. And maybe that becomes part of your calendar. Maybe that becomes part of your to-do list every day. But I am worthy of living a life that feels true to me. The next one, celebrate your strengths. Write down 3 things you love about yourself and review them daily and change them up. Like maybe it was hard the first day and you find 3 things that you love about yourself and then use those for maybe the next couple days. But then you're like, oh, there's more. And then so change them up and just find all the things, celebrate all those things that you love about yourself. I'm going to sneeze, I think so. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Acknowledge your achievements, no matter how small, and stop waiting for external validation. Again, we don't need that external validation. We just need to do the things that feel good to us. Limit social media comparisons. And, there's a place to limit our time on social media too, but I want you to limit your comparisons more than your time. If you're looking at social media and you see a highlight of somebody's life, just be like, oh, that's really great. I love that about them, that they were able to do that instead of, oh, how come she gets to do that and I don't? No, it's being happy for everybody else doing what they love because they're showing you that you can do that too. A few more. Take small risks. Is that just what we're talking about? Do small things at a time. Surround yourself with supportive people. Connect with friends or groups that celebrate authenticity and encourage growth. Prioritize your self-care. It's not selfish. It's definitely essential. Reframe negative thoughts. When self-doubt arises, ask, whose voice is this? Is that my ego? Is that my head? And instead of letting it be your ego or your head, bring it to your heart. Is this really what I feel? Challenge, whether it aligns with your true self. Like I said, visualize your ideal life and focus on gratitude for who you are right now. We only live in the present. We only live in the moment. So let's be grateful for who we are. And remember, every step, no matter how tiny, is worth celebrating. So during your daily journaling, remember and write down the things you've done to become more of your authentic self. And also write down how you feel about it. How does it change how you go about your life? Is it more carefree, fun, empowering? Because this is really important. You are not broken. You do not need to be fixed. There is nothing wrong. So quit seeking the answer and just be. Do the things that you know will help get you your desires. So my goal with Living Marvelously is to keep you in a high vibration so that you can receive all the good that there is for you. So thank you for being here today. I hope you enjoyed this show. What's your word of the year? I'd love to hear it. Comment below and let me know. So thanks for spending some time with me. And until next time, keep living marvelously. Thank you for listening to Living Marvelously with me, your host, Laurie Jonas. Tune in next time to unleash the marvelous potential in every woman, every second and fourth Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific on transformationtalkradio.com as I help you choose a life that you are passionate about. Learn to embrace your unique self, dream big, and leap into what you choose to have your marvelous life look like. Together we create a world that allows everyone to shine. For more information, visit livingmarvelously.com. That's livingmarvelously.com. See you next time on Living Marvelously.